Okay, this is Nancy Kropa. Good evening, everyone, and we are ready to get started. It's my pleasure tonight to welcome all of you to this very important call about One Simple Change by LouAnn Stark-dykema. And there's a picture of LouAnn that will be our speaker tonight. I am so proud of my friend LouAnn Stark-dykema. She's been with the Juice Plus company now for 13 years. And it comes from Okemos, Michigan. She's married to a wonderful husband. His name is Jay. And they have two sons who both are in college. And LouAnn's background is in the field of education, spiritual direction, and retreat work. And through the years has been a volunteer for many school organizations. And I can just imagine raising two sons, how that works. In the last decade with the Juice Plus company, she's had the opportunity to share her passion of teaching and mentoring others by helping to inspire and promote simple ways to achieve a healthier lifestyle. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce to you tonight, LouAnn Stark-dykema. Good evening, LouAnn.
Good evening. I'm finding my clicker. Well, I want to thank you, Nancy, for the introduction, and thank all of you for just taking the time tonight to be on this call. And we're going to just talk about some simple changes that we could do. And the simple changes are all about just adding another step in our health journey, because I know all of us on here are interested in living long, healthy lives. So let's get started. What does good health mean to you? And for all of us, it can mean something different. For some of us, it's about what we eat. We want the food that we put in our body to be good fuel for our food, for our body, to do what we want it to do. Maybe it's more about being fit, having a little more muscle than the excess fat, or lots of energy. I know there are times at the late afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm running out of energy before I've run out of the day. But I think all of us could agree that we want to prevent disease for ourselves, our loved ones, and our children. So, oops, sorry there. What is the road to good health? Well, 150 doctors researched 4,500 different studies trying to find that common denominator. And what they found is a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. And I think even in the media, we're hearing more about eat more fruits and vegetables. More is better. So even the USDA, they have given up the pyramid idea, that picture, and given us this image of the plate. So it says, fill half of your plate with fruits and veggies. And I like on this picture that there's even more vegetables than fruit, which means, you know, some of us like the fruit better because it's sweet, but we need those vegetables. We need all of them. A phrase you might hear is oxidative stress. And I am not going to try to explain that, what oxidation is and oxidative stress. But oxidation does happen. It's a natural occurrence that happens in our body, and it affects our cells. And one of the images that helps me know, kind of have a picture of oxidation is this apple. I think all of us have had the experience of cutting an apple, and if you don't eat it too quick and it's sitting out, it turns brown. Well, the air has caused it to oxidize. It's gotten brown. It's a natural occurrence. And that happens inside our body and outside our body, even with our skin. So this apple I thought was interesting because half of it is brown and the other half isn't. And the reason the one half is not is because it had lemon juice on it. So a natural defense is antioxidants. Where do we find them? Fruits and veggies. And they are packed full of antioxidants, and that's what our cells need. in our bodies. So if we eat those, we're helping bring health. So this picture, I think, is great in that it's about an apple. And we're talking about fruits and veggies. Nature cannot be duplicated. It's packed full of phytonutrients. So you notice here there's all these words, which you can't even read, next to the apple. There's like 400 of the 10,000 or more different phytonutrients that are in an apple. And in that apple, there's vitamins, minerals, and so much more, and they all work together to bring the power of that food to our bodies. Now compare that to maybe like a multivitamin that has listed on the label some vitamins maybe and some minerals, but they're separate. They're not mixed together naturally, and so we can't duplicate. So we know eating fruits and veggies is good. We know it's going to give health to our cells, but the problem is we don't eat enough. Sometimes we don't like the taste of fruits and veggies. And those of us who have children, our kids didn't like the taste. And unfortunately, the majority of the US population, and even in the world, there's many, many places that they either don't eat a large quantity of fruits and veggies, or maybe they don't even have them available. In Michigan and northern Montana in the winter, we can't get vine-ripened fruits and veggies. So there's a gap between what is good for our bodies, all those vine-ripened fruits, veggies, berries, and there's a gap between what we eat and what is best for us to eat. So the Juice Plus company that we're with has found a way to help bridge that gap. We still need to eat all those fruits and veggies, but we can add more. Juice Plus the company has found a way to take those fruits and veggies, put them in a powdered form, they're still live, and put them in capsules and chewables, so that we're getting a variety of orchard and garden and vineyard blends. And then we have the Juice Plus shakes, which is protein powder that is all plant-based. And then many of us know and love the Tower Garden, where we're able to grow our own food. So we're finding ways to help bridge that gap. This picture, I think, is fantastic in that it is a picture of what I get to eat every day with my Juice Plus. All these 46 different fruits, veggies, berries, even grains, and fiber. And look at the color. I love the color, the variety, and it's all vine ripened. So what's in Juice Plus? In these orchard, garden, and vineyard blends, we have 30 different whole foods, and it's the whole food. It's not just the juice, it's the leaves, it's everything. And the thing I like about Juice Plus is in that it's all food. We're getting all those phytonutrients. And so if you were looking for Juice Plus in a grocery store, it would be in the produce aisle, not the supplement aisle. And it's safe. We know our farmers. And we have what is called NSF certified, third-party validation, and research. The Juice Plus company has allowed Juice Plus to be used by medical university and centers all around the world doing independent studies. So we have over 35 published studies in very prominent research journals, medical journals. And what does it do? It does all these different things, and I'm not going to go through it all with you, but please talk to the person who invited you. They can explain more. I know for me personally, I needed to know that this Juice Plus, all these foods were getting absorbed in my body, and they are. And our research shows it in the effect on the immune system. And I know how healthy my kids have been, even while they went to school with all those other kids and all those germs. And we're supported by thousands of leading medical professionals around the world. They see the research, they trust the research, and they know that Juice Plus is valid. So they use Juice Plus and they recommend Juice Plus. So we're going to take a couple minutes to listen to a couple of our health professionals.
Every year, we talk to thousands of people looking to improve their health and well-being. I answer questions about how nutrition affects their overall wellness based on my experience as a medical professional.
While I concentrate on how to make getting in shape and staying in shape easier.
And since we're both athletes, we also focus on performance, making sure that both physically and mentally, you always perform at your best.
The question we get most often, of course, is, where do I start? People say things like, I know I need to lose weight, or I know I need to eat better, but it all seems so complicated.
Well, here's the message we want to share with you today. Taking control of your health doesn't have to be complicated if you just remember that the best way to get started is by making one simple change at a time.
That's right. One simple change is all it takes to jumpstart your journey to better health.
And to prove it, we brought together some top health professionals to explain why just making one simple change can make such a huge difference in how you look and feel.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially New Year's resolutions, they say, well, this year I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to join the gym, or I'm going to try to make a change in their diet, and they try to do too much all at one time.
Being overwhelmed and not having a plan that they can use consistently to achieve their goals.
A goal is a dream with an action plan and a timetable.
If we try to do too much, often we set ourselves up for failure. But if we can do one simple change,
it sounds easy, it sounds doable, it doesn't sound intimidating.
It's something everyone can do. Take one small step in the right direction towards better health.
What you'll see is as you start drinking more water, as you start getting more sleep and rest and exercise and adding Juice Plus to your diet.
Now it's a habit and it feels good. And so then you can take on something else.
Because what you're doing when you start a health habit is you're proving to yourself you can do this.
So a simple change is one that's easy to grasp, easy to keep in mind, and easy to fulfill.
To feel good and to look good and to get healthier. And you can do that all at the same time.
So we've come to one of the simplest changes.
Okay. There we go. So there's just a very short clip of our video with some of our health professionals. And if you want to see the rest of that video, again, I ask you to get with the person who brought you along for this call, and they go into the different things that we can do as simple changes. One of the things that I do every day, and many of us do, is we use one of the products called the Juice Plus Complete Shake Mix. And I love this. It's kind of like my fast food. I have it for breakfast every morning. And what I love is it's a plant-based protein, very rich in protein and high fiber. And I'm realizing more and more how important fiber is. So these are the 4 things that we often focus on. So you may start with Juice Plus, but then you still want to eat more whole foods, more fruits and veggies. Try something that maybe you haven't eaten before. Water. Drink a lot of water, especially as we're coming into the warm months, and especially those of you in Montana. And exercise. Do whatever you can do that will get your body moving, and you'll feel better. And sleep. Sleep, I think, is very underestimated for families, for children, for teenagers and adults. We need that time for our body to recharge and to heal. What we like to do in the Juice Plus community is to do our one simple change with others. I find I will walk a whole lot easier if I have somebody I'm walking with. And so a lot of times we'll make 30-day commitments to a simple change and find someone to do it with. It's encouraging and a lot more fun. And Juice Plus, the thing I love is that it's simple and cost-effective. To get the orchard, garden, and vineyard blends, all those 30 foods is less than $2.50 a day. And our shake is less than $2 for that shake. And I put all kinds of great things in mine. Now, the Children's Health Study is a study I'm very fond of because this is how I was introduced to the Juice Plus concept. Children ages 4 through 18 and full-time college kids can have Juice Plus for free when they are sponsored by an adult. And so my husband sponsored one of our sons, and I sponsored the other. And so for 4 years, our boys had Juice Plus free, and it made a difference in our lives. We saw things change. I saw health conditions that my boys had change. And we started eating better. We started craving foods that I didn't think I liked, and my boys didn't think they liked, and then we did like them. Our bodies wanted them. So the Children's Health Study is fabulous. So just keep that in mind if you or you know of children who need a little help with their nutrition. And as you heard Dr. Du Bois earlier in the video, Dr. Du Bois, who I personally know, is a wonderful man and doctor, and he's former president of the Georgia Society of Internal Medicine. And he was introduced to Juice Plus during the AIDS crisis, and that's where he saw it make a difference. Dr. Du Bois says, after looking at all the research done on Juice Plus, I recognize that there is nothing else available any place in the world, with or without a prescription, that has been shown to do all these things in the human body. So we're going to kind of wind up now, and I'm going to offer you 3 choices. The first choice is, I hope maybe you've thought of some simple change that you want to make in your life. Maybe it's just drinking more water right now. But think about that and start it. The second choice would be, if Juice Plus seems like something you're more interested in, you want to incorporate, talk to the person who brought you to this call and see how you can get started. And the third is, we have a mission. We are inspiring healthy living around the world. And as you may know, the world is a really big place. And so we're always interested in locking arms with others who are interested in that same kind of mission of helping others get healthy and themselves. So if anything that has come up tonight has touched your heart and you want to know more about what we're doing, again, please talk to the person who brought you. And to end our time, I want to bring in 3 of my friends that are on this call tonight, Jim and Jan and Nikki. And I think Nancy is going to unmute our lines, or you can unmute. And Jim, I'm going to call on you first, because I want these friends of mine to share their Juice Plus experience with you. Jim, I've known for many years. He is a chiropractor, a very successful chiropractor, a father, a husband in Monroe, Michigan. So Jim, would you tell us a little bit about how Juice Plus has affected you and your business?
Be happy to. I first was introduced to Juice Plus by a doctor friend of mine, and I listened to a research, actually the research that we showed earlier in the slides, all the different research studies. One of those studies was what really grabbed my attention, and it was on people taking the normal vitamin, mineral products, antioxidants. They were getting cancer at a more alarming rate than the people taking the placebo, so they had to stop the study. And during that tape, they were talking about some other concepts of whole food nutrition versus fractionated nutrition, which struck a bell with me because I remember one of my early mentors in practice used to teach whole food nutrition. I thought, well, that makes sense. You know, things started coming back to me. So I decided to try it. And I was also told about a lady who had gotten over some serious diseases by taking Juice Plus. And I called her and talked to her, and she says, you can tell when somebody's telling the truth. So I said, okay, it's time for me to try it for myself. About the same time, I was having some joint pain in my hands and fingers and elbows from working on chiropractic patients. I had a very physical job the way I was doing it. And so when I first started taking Juice Plus, I actually started taking it at triple the normal dose. You can take it at regular dose and get great results, but I just take it at triple dose because that's what the lady I talked to did. And about 3.5 months into the program, I realized that I really wasn't hurting anymore. But I quit taking Juice Plus, and because I wasn't on the auto-ship program. I basically repeated that cycle 2 more times, and finally it was like, duh, this stuff really works. So I decided that was 13 years ago, and I haven't stopped taking it since. But it really made a difference in my own personal pain. Now, everybody's different. The body will take the nutrition and use it wherever it needs to. But for me, it was joint inflammation. And then I had a patient, which is a classic patient of mine, who I put on Juice Plus. And after about 9 months of being on it, she came in one day. She said, well, Dr. Hubbard, I'm going to test your Juice Plus stuff out. I goes, well, how are you going to do that? She says, well, for 10 years, I've been going to work, and my husband's coming home from work, and he's had a cold. And for 10 years, I've caught his cold. He came home from work with a cold yesterday. So I saw her a month later. I said, so what happened? She says, I didn't get his cold. For the first time in 10 years, not only did I not catch his cold, but all the people in my medical office I worked with, they were hacking and coughing, and I didn't get sick. And that has been typical of what I've seen over the last 13 years using this with my patients. I've got many testimonials. They're all getting great results. But a strengthened immune system is one of the very common things I see. And personally, myself, the only time I really get sick anymore is when my sweet tooth takes hold of me during the Christmas holidays. All the patients bring in all that good candy and cookies and stuff, and it just kind of consumes me. And that's about the only time I get sick, when I lower my immune system. But it's been very successful with myself and my patients. And I will personally use it forever because there was an experiment showing that by Dr. Pottinger that we will develop the diseases of our parents and ancestors earlier in life than they did. My mother and father were triple bypass surgery patients, diabetics, and I am now way past the age they had those diseases, and I don't have any of them, and I totally attribute that to Juice Plus. And remember the picture that you showed in the slide with the lady had one half of her face like the apple?
Yeah.
Well, that is really one of the things that will lock me into Juice Plus forever, because most of the people that I see and come across, they typically guess me about 10 years younger than what I am. Yeah. I go, yeah, I like that.
I like that. Okay, Jan, can you unmute your line? And I still see you're muted. There you go. And I want to introduce Jan. She's a friend and a neighbor, actually. Jan, as you might have seen earlier, had a dog in her lap. She fosters dogs, and we've always gotten our dogs from Jan. But Jan and her husband have been on the Juice Plus journey for about 8 years. And Jan has another special story. She's also a grandmother that has a special story.
Hi. Well, you said some of the things I was thinking of saying about how I knew you. We became friends when she adopted a dog from us and introduced us to Juice Plus. And there's 2 things I've learned from it. And one is I have asthma, so whenever I used to get sick and get a cold, it would always go into bronchitis, and I would just be sick for weeks and coughing, and I just dread getting a cold because of that. But since I've been on Juice Plus, I've noticed that if I do get a cold, it's milder, and I have not had bronchitis in years now. And I'm hopefully attributing that to a better immune system through that. But the other story I want to tell is about my grandson, who has something called sensory integration disorder. So when he was real little, he had formula and the baby food, but the real fine baby food. But when it came to start trying to feed him solid foods of any sort, he wouldn't eat it. And he was a kid that didn't ever put anything in his mouth. I mean, you didn't have to worry about him picking stuff off the floor or anything. And also the sensory integration affected his not wanting to touch things, not wanting to walk on different things. It's all about texture, and they don't like texture because it's just too much to handle. So he ended up eating, when he started eating food, just yogurt because it was so smooth. And So that's all he wanted, and everything you tried to put in his mouth, other than that, if it had any texture to it, he would either like gag and throw up or just spit it out. So it was very, very frustrating for my poor daughter. So anyhow, when he started eating yogurt only, I thought he needs some more nutrition. So I told her about Juice Plus Complete, and she started putting the powder into his yogurt and mixing it in. And of course, he didn't even know that there was anything in there, because at least it was still nice and smooth, although he could taste it and he liked the taste of it. And he would just eat tons of yogurt with this Juice Plus Complete in it. So whenever he went to his pediatrician, Julie would say, he's not eating anything but yogurt. And she'd say, yeah, but he's thriving and he's gaining weight, he's getting taller, he's not sick, so he must be eating something. She didn't really believe my daughter that all he ate was yogurt. This went on for several years before finally she realized when it was time to start school, he has to start eating other things. So she, through her pediatrician, managed to get him enrolled in a special feeding program at a Mary Free Bed Hospital for a whole summer, where he did very slowly and gradually, and with lots of extra therapy, learn to eat some foods. So he's eating a few different things, and she's supposed to be adding, more each, time that he gets used to one, try something else. But in the meantime, he's still eating his yogurt, and after he eats something else, which the poor kid, he doesn't even really enjoy his food yet. He eats it with, but his yogurt he loves, and he still has the Juice Plus Complete in it, even though it's now a protein powder, so it's a little different than the mix he started out with. But he still seems to be thriving on that, and he'll eat like a tub of yogurt this big all at once. So I think that has really kept him, almost alive. I think it's a miracle that he has remained healthy through all this.
Yeah, thank you, Jan. And it's an incredible story.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Nikki, you can unmute your line, and I think you have someone with you to help tell your story.
This is my story. We both started taking Juice Plus in February, so we're in our 5th month now. And I've got 4 boys, and one of them's in the Army. The other 2 are 14 and 13. This little Indigo here is 7 years old. And for some reason, out of all of the boys, he had problems with his teeth, and they were very unhealthy. And he ended up having to have oral surgery and a bunch of teeth removed when he was really young. And he was always a poor eater for me, unlike the rest of the boys. And since he's started taking Juice Plus, his gum health, his teeth are healthier. He's more focused in school. He's excelling now in reading. And he absolutely loves vegetables, even mushrooms, he says. I was like, my jaw dropped one day. I'm making dinner in the kitchen, and he wants to know what's for dinner. And I said, well, we're going to have Mama style spaghetti, and we're going to have salad. And he goes, Mama, all I want is salad. And I just was like, that's wonderful, honey, but you got to have some spaghetti and salad. And then if you want more salad, you can have more salad in a minute. And so and all of the boys now, we've got them all on the Juice Plus, and they are all absolutely thriving on it. And the proof is in the pudding. I just look around me and I'm just like so grateful. And myself too. I have more energy now than I did before I had children, and I sleep better at night. And I'm a believer.
Hi, Indigo. Yeah, thank you, Nikki. So there's a few of our stories, there's many more stories, but we really do want to thank all of you for being on this call tonight, taking the time. And again, if you have any questions or thoughts or concerns, please just get back to the person who invited you. And we really wish you a good evening. And if you're in Michigan, stay warm. If you're in Montana, good luck getting cool. So thank you, and we'll end the call.